We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show.
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Happy Friday.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about how you should separate yourself from the less motivated during times like these.
I have to say, I want to point out what's going on behind us. In case you didn't notice, I just watched a mom and two kids packed with their lunch packed, going, you know what? We're going to go spend the day on the beach. Look at that guy walking by there. You see bicyclists. You know, I'm really happy. This doesn't have to be shut into your home and not breathe fresh air, by the way. If you're shut in your home and you're not getting out and having some fresh air, I'm going to argue that's worse for your health and everything going on. So
yeah, this is not the time to gain 20 pounds or explore new brands of alcohol.
Wait a minute. Does that mean we can't still do our vodka tasting layer we have planned tonight?
I think that if you're done with all your work,
okay,
I sound like your father again. If you're done with all your work, your grades are good, you're happy with your revenue.
Right. You can
your
have some
teachers
fun.
aren't mad at you. Your wife's not mad at you. I think you should explore that. Try to find the bottom of the bottle of scotch. I play that game often by myself.
Okay. But that's true. Yeah, day drinking.
No.
Yeah, maybe not. Okay. Still save that for Sunday brunch. What? You think I'm kidding?
No, I don't. Okay. I know you, Joe.
Yeah.
It just cracks me up the stuff that you say on the show instead of,
it's like
between us.
Not every day.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Weston wrote, I have an approved purchase agreement from a seller through direct mail. Yay! In going through the due diligence and researching the deed, I came across this situation. It's a warranty deed. The grantor, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, his wife as joint tenants with rights of survivorship. Awesome. Properties in the state of Florida. Cool. Property was not a primary residence for them. Cool. 4, I'm unsure of the state that they lived in upon their death.
Oh, they're dead.
And the son, Bradley, currently has residence in California.
It's a puzzle.
So both members have since passed, and their son, Brad Smith, whom my mailer is addressed, has agreed to sell the property to me. Does the term joint tenants with rights of survivorship apply to the two individuals on the deed or to the next of kin as well? I plan to self-close this property, would be sold, as this property would be sold between the $5,000 to $6,000 with current market conditions as of recent events. So it sounds like it's probably a buy for $1,000, sell for $5,000 or $6,000. Any help would be much appreciated in taking the correct steps to ensure that their son Brad has the authority to sell or transfer the deeded title of the property. Boy, I sure wish they put Brad on there years ago. You know, it's kind of funny when I have this, whenever I'm talking to people and sellers, and they're of a certain age, I actually tell them, I'm like, hey, even if you're not, I know you're not selling to me, but Mrs. Smith, please promise me you'll update your deed, because you're R98, and make sure that it's easy for the kids to take ownership, because it's not always.
Here's the deal, and it's a massive misconception in our country, because everybody thinks this. My mom and dad died. I have a signed will in my hand, and it says they're giving me everything. And I don't have any brothers and sisters, so I get everything, and I own the property, which is absolutely true with the VCR and all the furniture,
ring, maybe,
and even cars.
Yeah,
there's a real, mom's rings and cars, and even with stocks and bonds, there's a process to go through. I personally, unfortunately, had to go through all this and undo it. So I'm a personal experience on the right and the wrong way to do this. With real estate, it just doesn't work that way. So you have to have the deed, the conveyance deed, executed by the people who are actually on the deed. It can't be an heir without going through a bunch of stuff.
And an attorney.
So
usually.
If John and Judy Smith, which is actually their name here, own a property with joint tenants with rights of survivorship, and son Smith thinks he owns the property, Brad is his name, he can't convey that property.
Right. Can't just sign away with the will,
That's right.
unfortunately.
And so this is a huge deal. It's a huge, again, it's not a good thing, but it's a huge sales opportunity. So if Jill's very well versed, and so am I to some extent, in solving this problem with sellers. And can be a huge opportunity to buy property really inexpensively, way less than it's worth, because you got to legally undo this. In California, for instance, there's an affidavit of heirship that you can file with property as long as it's uncontested, and there's a bunch of rules, and you can undo it pretty quickly if you know what you're doing. In Arizona, you have to go back into probate. So our database is packed full of literally thousands and thousands of transactions that are sitting there that are great deals.
Yeah.
And the person on the other end of the phone is ready to sell it. And it's exactly the situation, but they don't own it. And the cost of us to undo it in Arizona specifically, if it was in California, it'd be a done deal. We'd already done the deal.
Right.
In Arizona, the cost of us to do it is too expensive. So in Florida, I can honestly say I have no idea how to undo this. It's just not a state that I'm familiar with. And hopefully you did the right thing by putting it in land investors, because we have a lot of people buy and sell real estate in Florida.
I
But
bet by now there's 6 answers in there from
yeah,
people who have done
yeah.
it in Florida.
But the takeaway from this, if you're a land or a property investor in general, is that property doesn't convey just because you die. The deal with joint tenants with rights of survivorship, that was all set up if one of the people die.
Right.
So if John dies, that second he dies, without doing anything, Judy owns the property 100%.
Right. And Judy can sign, and that's it. Game over.
What they should have done, and people, make this mistake all the time, is that all three of them should have owned it as joint tenants.
That's where they dropped the ball, unfortunately. They should put their kid on there.
And he would have been able to sign it away.
That's what I was going to say. That's how I kind of coach people. I'm like, just promise me, but that if you're going to hang on to this property until you pass, please make it easy for the kids. And I hope that I get that message through to people, because I'm sure they think that, oh, I have a will. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Yeah, I kind of do, unfortunately, because I've been there.
Hey, even if you have a mortgage, this is becoming an estate planning thing, but
yeah, sorry.
It's actually, no, it's not you at all. It's just, even if you have a mortgage, did you know that you can convey property? So if I have a house and a mortgage, and my mortgage is 200 grand, my house is worth 300,000, I'm the one who's on the deed. I can convey that deed to Jill. Jill and I aren't married, so I can convey that deed. Now she owns the house, but I pay the mortgage. So there's a personal guarantee that's, with all mortgage documents that I've ever seen. So now I'm responsible for paying the mortgage, but I don't own the house at all.
It's a good deal.
It's very possible. So my point of saying this is that if Jill, let's say a more likely scenario is Jill and I are married, we own a house together with joint tenants, rights of survivorship. We have a mortgage together. It's all tied up into one big marital freaking mess, like most marriages. But
thanks.
Jill and I could say, we have 3 kids, which we do, and we could convey the property with joint tenants to all 3 of our kids. And so if we pass away together, the kids own the house. And they're going to have to deal with that. The mortgage isn't actually going to be tied to that asset too. So they're going to have to deal with that too. But it's still, let's say, again, if it's $200,000 mortgage, $300,000 house, they theoretically have $100,000 of equity in it. Jill just spaced out. Did you see that?
I did.
She's like, what is he talking about?
Carry the
Makes
2.
sense to me.
That's what happened.
Well, for the 3 of you who are listening and watching and who thought that was useful, you're welcome.
The rest of you, I gotcha. I feel your pain.
Today's topic, separate yourself from the less motivated. This is the meat of the show. This is a nice title for me to say, and I don't even know if you can say this socially acceptable anymore, but there's these times like these separate the men from the boys, or the women from the girls. I don't know how you say it, but you know what I mean.
I do.
You don't want to be the person that breaks down in a ball of tears when this kind of stuff goes on. You want to be Wonder Woman in this scenario.
Just because right now there's industries with huge layoffs, like travel, and all that. Just because your place is closed and now you got all this, your home doesn't mean to, I'm seeing people cleaning house and doing silly things. I'm like, no, think about what you could be doing that's positive. Even if it's nothing more than helping your kids master fourth grade and start getting into fifth grade. Like, you know what we're
That's
doing
great.
personally? I ordered SAT books for our kid. So guess what? You're not going to kill it with all the assignments you have. We're going to get a head start in your SATs and your ACTs, and we're going to be ready for them the minute we can go take those tests.
If this is all it takes to crush your spirit and make you not see this as an opportunity,
Yeah.
this is real estate investing is not for you anyway.
Right.
So I have a great friend who's like a lifelong friend who's the CEO of Kitchell. He's either the CEO or the
A big
COO. He's
VP.
one or
Yeah.
two slot, and
Yeah.
he's I've known him through all these recessions, and during the last one, he said, you know, every single commercial contractor, I mean, we lost them all. He's like, there were us and three other people were left at the end of the last recession because we actually know what we're doing. So it just cleaned itself out.
Yeah.
So am I being uncompassionate here? No, I'm just saying, whatever it takes, be the guy that's strong, be the person that's on top, not the guy, the person, and forge through this. Stay the course. How many cliches can I use in one phrase?
Wasn't going to say anything. That's good.
This is
The
not,
glass is half full. Throw that in
yeah.
there.
We have tons and tons of positive options. Now is the time to thrive. Now is the time to find investors or people that have really see the value in cheap real estate, undervalued real estate like you do,
Right.
and appreciate, your talent for sending out mail and negotiating deals.
I would align myself with those people too. There's some people that are going to be, there's always the Debbie Downers. I would not hang out with those people.
Yeah.
I'd really get a good team together. And that's one of the beautiful things about Land Academy in our community. We have a huge group of people right here that are not stopping doing deals. Now's the time to partner up and take down more deals.
So how do you find them? The first way to find them is within our group. The second way to find them, if you're very geography based, and most of us are, is that they already own a ton of real estate in the market that you're in. You're already downloading the data to do a mailer. You can see that if somebody's LLC or their naming conventions for their LLC all line up and they own 22 houses in that market or 200 pieces of property in the county where you're mailing, you want to track that person down. You have the time now. You theoretically have more time. Find it, develop it. And on yesterday's show, I gave you I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, I gave you a perfect sales pitch about it.
Mhm.
Hey, John, I own a house, just bought a house down the street. I paid less than you paid. I'm just checking it out. See if you want it.
How about commercial brokers or something like that? Like I would be, aligning myself with people that I've worked with in the past and said, "All right, we're gonna kill it now. You doing business? Heck yeah! What do you got? Well, what do you need?" I would. That's one of the things that we are doing, too.
That's another thing. If you're a marginally talented real estate agent, you're not going to be a real estate agent at the end of this.
Yeah,
If you're a great real estate agent,
that's
you're going to all the
true.
competition is going to be gone by the time this thing's done.
That's true.
Is that a terrible thing to say?
I
No,
know.
it's not a terrible thing to say.
No.
Jill might phrase it a little bit more differently, but I don't have a problem. It's like sports. I mean, do you think Michael Jordan walks around saying, I hope I didn't hurt the defenseman's feelings by scoring on him just then?
Yeah.
I don't think that happens.
Good point. Yeah, we're all gonna back off because it's
maybe I'm a little too good at playing basketball. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna lighten up a little bit. I'm gonna have some compassion for these people who don't play basketball as well as I do.
That's funny. That's good. I think we got that.
So do I.
All right. Happy you could join us today. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're right here on the Land Academy Show. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can catch us on the House Academy Show.
Next week, join us on the Land Academy Show for another interesting episode. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. I don't get the hate for having an opinion on this show like I used to when we started.
That's because people can't call in and give it to you right now.
Or maybe they don't. Maybe we lost all those people as listeners anyway. And the ones that are like, yeah, guy's probably right, are just the ones that are left. Do
You know
get any
what?
hate? I haven't, honestly, when we started this show,
I do
got
sometimes.
so much hate.
I do sometimes. Not that much, really, though. But you know what? I just see it as tough love.
Mhm.
I'm open to people's real and sincere comments, and obviously we are happily sharing our real and sincere comments.
Why?
And
Why?
some
Because
stuff
we
needs to
want you
be
to win.
said.
Jill and I don't do this. We don't make any money doing this. I want you to win.
It needs to be
I
said.
want you to come out on top on this.
You might be mad at me for kicking you and saying, "Get off the couch, knock it off, do this, do that, take a shower,
Wow,
and
listen to
whatever."
Jill.
Seriously,
Yeah,
you
take a
might be,
shower.
but seriously, but you know what? At the end, you're gonna go, "Thank you, because I was right, because we were right."
In the back of my head, I keep thinking, because Jill and I have been doing this now for 5+ years, the Land Academy, the House Academy thing. And you know how people, every week, be it 1 or 2 emails that say something like this. I just want to thank you guys. You have no idea. I've been a member
Yeah.
for whatever. Sometimes it's even non-members. I want to let you know, we're killing it now. We make X, Y, Z. My wife just quit her job a year after I did.
Yeah.
Some great success story
Exactly.
under the guise of you don't know who we are, and and you never will. It's just thank you.
Exactly.
So I think this thing that we're going through, this virus thing, is going to produce some amazing success stories.
I agree. The Land Academy show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listeners. So wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there. We are Steve and Jill,
Information
an inspiration
to buy undervalued property.